Hi, everyone. Hi. So, there may have been a slight technical difficulty where I forgot to go live on the stream. We're live now, and it's wet. We're just gonna get straight into the race. So yeah, it's been a little bit hectic on my end, but we are live and we are racing, and we do in fact have a lot of weather. This is what we were worried about. Ladies and gentlemen, it is intermediate conditions here at the British Grand Prix. I did a whole intro for the British Grand Prix. I am wearing a very specific jersey today that I would love to be wearing. I don't know how I've paused the game. But yeah, unfortunately that comes undone by the fact that I'm bad with technology. But what we do have for you today is, of course, 26 laps around Silverstone and potentially an entirely wet qualifying. It is pouring right now out there at Silverstone, and it is one of the toughest tracks to do in the wet. It is a fast-flowing, often flicking left and right. This could be one of the craziest races of the season. And we're starting it in intermediate conditions. It will be Ghost who will be the first one out there to set a representative time, as long as they do not invalidate it. Apparently, people in this lobby have set a 25.9. That's one person. We all know who that person is if you've been watching the past few weeks. But he is not, in fact, our championship leader. Because right now, our championship leader... Oh, there's an Alpine round already! Turn 2. That's as far as we got. Oh, the next one to start a flying lap will be Villeneuve. Can Villeneuve make it more than 2 corners? He gets through 1. And he's managed to just about make it stick through 2. Now they're running to 3. Tough corners these. Slow corners where you need to run to the edges of the track to get the grip. Kiss the apex on the inside. We'll hide the hood for a moment just so you can watch this lap. Now the run through 5, down the Wellington Straight. Heavy braking through 6. You've got to be so careful through Lovefields now. You want to go wide, bring it back in for a late apex, then drive it away to the exit. Running now down the Sir Lewis Hamilton Straight, I believe. No, this is the other straight. Through Copse Corner, infamous, specifically involving a Red Bull. Now through Maggots and Beckett's, you've got to throw the car through at the best of times. In the where, you are praying it sticks. Now out the exit, down the Hangar Straight, a long chance and a long drive. Normally DRS is open at this point, but now it is pure ERS management. All the way through the final sector, the rain light is blinking just to prove the point that it is in fact throwing it down. Heavy braking once again. National Straight, thank you. Thank you, Bouncy, appreciate it. Now, round the final few corners. A beautiful lap, a 37.3. And that will be our starting time to look for. Welshie, another driver at the front of the field, is looking to try and beat that. The next car across the line was Ghost, a 2:03.0. It's not going to be quick enough there. Echo 1, a 39.1. And there are yellow flags all over the track. Who's the next one to finish a lap? I think it might in fact be Welshie. Normbash ahead of him, just starting a lap. Welshie's gone much faster so far. This has been a great lap from him. It's a 36.4, and it's the fastest we've seen to date. Meanwhile, the Midnight Mercedes on his way around to start his flying lap. Behind him, I believe an RB. Could be of Bum. Nope, it's the other one. It is of True Terms, who we've seen qualify rather well so far this season. But this is the skill check. When it rains at Silverstone, it pours. It does not come down lightly, and it is always a test of skill. Who will have the biggest cojones? Who will have the most skill and the best setup for this weather? Mockmate will currently lock out the front row from McLaren as he gets that McLaren up to a 37.0 and P2. Meanwhile, behind him, across the line comes Bum, puts his RB, the Cash App RB, into P4. It'll be the Williams to follow him across. That will be Chosen Tolby. Let's flick through to him. No, it's not. It's Great Ace starting a flying lap. Never mind. But Tolby is on a lap and hasn't invalidated. Again, reminder to check for your invalidations. The bottom right-hand corner of the screen. The map, if it turns red, is an invalidated lap as the two Haas cars follow each other around. That's Cypher and Nate W's, both on flying laps. Can Nathan or Cypher do anything remotely good? Not really. Tolby goes P2 though. Great lap from him to put himself on the front row and splits the McLarens currently. Normbash will go one better. P2 alongside him now. Alongside Welshie on that front row. More laps coming in, but none of them necessarily improving as he actually stops on the straight to get out of the way of all the other cars. Muckmage still going. Welshie on a second flyer now. Across the line come a couple more cars. I believe Midnight crossed the line. Potentially now the other RB crossing the line. This is 2 times his lap. How can he settle himself? He's invalidated. It doesn't matter. Would have been a 42.5 anyway. Not very good from him. The Aston Martins now. We've got Jordan Goat racing today. We've got a Marmo currently on an outlap. Behind them is the other the McLaren, I believe, of Mark Mage, who is not on a lap as far as I can tell, but will be about to start one. Behind him, the RB of Bum, who is 3 seconds down and invalidated, will now go for another lap. Here comes Great Ace. Rounding the final 2 corners, yet to set a lap time himself. It's not going to be the greatest of laps, but it will be one to start with. And it's a 39.5 that he can build off of. If you're just joining us now for the first time, this is the Tier 5 of MRL Season 11. We are very much in the thick of it. A good lap there from Ghost puts him P11 right now, just ahead of the Hasses. The next Haas to cross the line will be Cypher. Cypher goes P9. He's still about a second off the pace of his teammate. The Ferrari now across the line. This will be Monster Jammers, who is looking to go on pole. The key thing here as well, she goes even faster at the front, a 35.9. Oh, and the Cypher's gone all out of shape. The key thing to remember here, in regards to qualifying, is the fact that Angry Shadow is still in the pit lane. He is entitled to an outlap, but that is all he will be getting this weekend, as he does have a qualifying ban for the next 2 rounds of the championship. Meanwhile, I believe that was Villeneuve there, up to P5. Sorry, no, that would have been 2 turns up to P6. Sorry, my apologies for missing that one. We do have the McLaren now of Muckmage, I believe. Finishing a flying lap. No, he boxes. He was going quicker. Has given in the towel. Bum is going quicker. Half a second quicker. Half a second currently might be good enough to put him alongside his teammate. He finds a little more time in the final sector. Goes ahead of his teammate. I believe a double quali ban. Average F1 bloke. I believe a double quali ban, unfortunately. For an incident that was occurred last week. Great Ace crosses the line. P8. The infamous ending to Tier 5 last weekend. With a McLaren getting passed around like a dog toy. It's the only way I could describe it. As wow, that camera cut was great. That's Villeneuve, who came flying through 1 and 2, wobbling all the while. He's currently sat in P5. And the Red Bulls are looking good in the wet so far, but we don't know what sort of conditions we're going to have for the race, as Monster Jammers, the sole Ferrari currently driving, has put it P1. Across the line comes Benzo, 38.1. Electric Entree, making his debut this weekend, goes P5. 1 from retiring on track and quali, and 1 from penalty point. Thank you very much, Joseph. Appreciate that a lot. And this is why you should interact in chat. The more information we get. Meanwhile, here comes Normbash. He is up on Monster Jammers. Round the final corner, he will take pole position away from Ferrari, and Red Bull are in with a shout this weekend. Thank you very much, Mark. Appreciate it a lot. Meanwhile, other drivers on track currently. Villeneuve's up 1.2. That is currently good enough to put him battling for that front row. Now, how is his final sector? Round the long right-hander that I've forgotten the name of, into the heavy braking point, the final chicane, as a lap comes through there. I'm not sure who improved. Wasn't one of the front three. Across the line comes Villeneuve. Oh, he slid out the final corner, but it's still quick enough. And Red Bull currently have a 1-2 as it stands. Villeneuve leads Nornbash, leads Monster Jammers, leads Welshie. And then there is a near full second between that and Chosen Tolby in P5. Stowe, thank you. I think it's with an E at the end, but either way. Angry Shadow has officially retired. That was expected of him. He was the driver who has a penalty, two quali bans back to back. Meanwhile, we're looking to see who's on a lap currently. There's a couple of drivers out on track. Amamo has gone off at Luffield, and we're very confused as to why. Bum. Oh, sliding it around cops. Gorgeous. The track is definitely improving. Absolutely, it is. People are rubbering in the track. People are getting their tyres currently. Kill. So Entree did miss the first 2 rounds of the season. Needs a good performance today. Meanwhile, Bum now looking to try and improve. It's been a very tidy final sector from him. Across the line, where's this going to put him? It's going to put him up to P5. And he is the first car to to bridge that gap between Welshie and Tolby. Speaking of Tolby, he is improving. First sector up a 10.5. Now through Stowe. Look at that car gripping the entire way. Across the line comes the Alpine, I believe that's NATO G starting a flying lap. Yet to set a representative time. That is cops. I know what I'm talking about. Shush. Through Magus and Beckett now onto the hangar straight towards Stowe. I'm having a moment. There are a lot of corner names to remember. Normally I go numbers. But I'm trying. Right. I'm trying. Here comes Tolby. Can he get anywhere closer to the front 2 rows of the grid? A good improvement there from Echo 1, but not enough to improve past them. Welshie will start a flying lap. Across the line comes Tolby, and it's a massive improvement. It's pole position currently. Where on earth has that come from? Midnight now across the line. Where does he go? Doesn't improve. Potentially just a bit slower. Nornbash improves again. And Red Bull back on top. Across the line now comes the Alpine. Not of NATO G, but of Ghost to start their flying lap. NATO G is currently the one driver who I'm looking to see go towards the front of the field. Has the pace for it, just hasn't been able to show it just yet. Meanwhile, we've got an RB coming round. Believe that may be 2 terms. Nope, that would be Bum boxing at the end of his lap. We've got a Haas as well in front of this. And either way, it could be Nathan here setting a fast lap, but it is NATO G we are watching. Across the line there goes the Haas. It's not an improvement either way. I think it's Cypher starting a lap. NATO G does set a lap, but the Alpines very much revisiting real life here at the very back of the field. Meanwhile, Tolby, invalidated. Currently, Maggots and Beckett will get out of the way. It's an improvement there, I believe, across the line by the McLaren of Markmage, who goes a second faster, up to P7 now. Puts himself next to his teammate Welshie. Welshie does improve. Welshie only a couple of hundredths off pole. Across the line comes the kick now. I believe of Echo 1 to start a flying lap. Behind him, Benzo starting a flying lap. Everyone is trying to get their laps in. Here comes Midnight. Up by 3 seconds. Goes up to P8. Good lap from him. Now the Alpine boys. Final sector. It's Ghost first. Ghost has not really improved on this lap. But it's all down to that final sector. If you get it right, you gain a whole heap of time. Across the final, around the final corner, he will improve, but it's no position gained. Here comes the Williams of Great Ace, who has yet to put in a good qualifying lap. 38.1 is about 3 seconds off of pole as it stands, which is a ridiculous stat. Here's Cypher up a second. No 107 rule here. No 107 rule. The Alpines would be in as much danger as Ragunathan in F2. But right now, it is Cypher that we are watching. And he crosses the line, P16. It's an improvement, but it's not enough to get into that top bracket. Meanwhile, coming around the lap, we've got an Aston Martin on an outlap. Behind him, we've got an absolutely flying two terms, and I think he may have been impeded, and there's been damage. There is massive contact between the two, and two terms here has just had his lap ruined. And that is huge, because he was up by, I think, 2 seconds, which would have put him near the front of the field, and that lap is gone. Nathan retires in the pits. He's not improving. Across the line now comes two terms. Behind him, the Ferrari of Monster Jammers to start his final flying lap. Here comes the kick across the line. Benzo goes P8. Behind him, the McLaren, not of Mockmage, who is starting his final flying lap right now. And there are cars everywhere. Midnight, boxes. He will not be taking any further part. Entree will start his final lap. Who will be the last one across the line? Bum is the only one. I think him and Tolby are the only two trying to get around for their final lap. There's a yellow in Sector 1. Can the yellow in Sector 1 go away? We've got 40 seconds, so everyone will get a lap at this point. It is Villeneuve who is currently improving. He's first. Currently P4 right now. Cross the line comes Villeneuve. Where can he go? P4 only. Improvement, but not enough. He gets out of the way of the Haas. I believe that would be Sypho's just starting a final lap. Across the line comes the Alpine. No improvement. Now the Williams. Tolby still on his outlap. He's got 5 seconds to cross the line here. This is really close for Tolby, but he just sneaks across. Checkered flag drops. Oh, that was close. Amamo, the first one to finish. Where can he go? Only P12. Monster Jammers, up 7/10, is shaky, but doesn't invalidate. Oh, but he's lost it at the final corner. It's still pole. 34.9, great lap. Welshie almost loses it as well. He's down a P3. He doesn't improve. Where is everyone else? Across the line, Mockmage P8, Midnight P10. Here comes the kick of Echo 1. No improvement. No improvement for Jordan or Electric Entree. Two terms boxes. He's not improving. Is anyone improving? Ghost is. Across the line, Bum P6. Great lap from him. Both drivers drifting around the final corner. Ghost has put out a great lap here, but it's still only good enough for P18. There are only a handful of drivers still on a lap. Villeneuve is one of them, but he is slow. And I think it's just Tolby, who is 8/10 up as it stands. He's timed this to perfection. Can he finish the session as he means to go on? Round the final 3 corners. Can Tolby put it on pole in the Williams? He's nailed the final corner. It is comfortable pole. A 34.5. And that is timing. That is what that does for you. Crossing the line with 3 seconds to spare. Tolby is on pole alongside Monster Jammers, who does the work for Ferrari in place of Angry Shadow. Normbash P3 for Red Bull. Welshie P4 was at the front the entire time, but couldn't seem to put that final lap together. That mistake at the final corner cost him what could have been a P3 there. Villeneuve P5, Bum P6, 3 Red Bull manufacturer cars in the top 6. The kick Sauber of Echo 1 in P7, Nathan P8, retired early, wasn't going to get back out for another lap. Mockmage 9th, Benzo in 10th. And that is an absolutely tremendous qualifying session. Right. Here we go once again. We got down to Benzo. Let's keep it moving. Midnight P11 ahead of a Marmo. Then Mercedes and Aston round out the 7th row as well. Electric Entree ahead of Jordan Goat in 13th and 14th. Two terms. A disappointing qualifying for him, but he's going to be looking to improve in the race in P15. Cypher P16. Great Ace alongside NATO G. The Alpines at the very back in 18th and 19th. And the driver with a quali ban, but in second in the championship. Angry Shadow has a chance to make a miracle happen. We almost saw it in Tier 6, a driver from P18 to P2 in Jatin. But now, maybe one step further, 20 to P1. If someone in the lobby could please get an invite out to Monster Jammers. Ain't no miracle if you're 3 seconds along. Listen, you can be quick. You can be quick on a 1 lap. But a race pace and overtaking pace, because of the amount of battles that are going on, you need to manage so much more in the race than just having pure pace. You need to do so much more. So it's not a question of is he going to be quick enough. It's a question of how will he work his way around the grid. Jammers will make it back into the start of the race, which is good to see. Means that the Ferrari will have a chance to compete at the start line. It is a dry start to the race. Bone dry by the looks of it. But we know, based on the real-life F1 Grand Prix, that's not necessarily going to stick here at Silverstone. The strategy, soft to medium or medium to soft, and it seems like most people are going with that. 5 red lights. And we are holding and underway, and it's a great start for Monster Jammers, who's got ahead of Tolby already into turn 1. Jammers leads, Normbash P3 now, trying to fight his way around the outside of Tolby as, oh, there's a bit of lag in the lobby. Jammers shifted down to P4. Cars all over the road. There's an RB off in the background, but Tolby has held on to P1 just about. But here comes Welshie now, looking for the move. Normbash P3. Jammers started so strong, but the lag dropped him back to P4. He's now under pressure from Villeneuve in P5. Behind them, Midnight, Benzo, Echo 1. Great starts from both of them. Mockmage P9. Bum P10 has dropped down from P6. Oh, and off goes Echo 1. And he's off into the wall and around, but it doesn't look like any damage. Back at the front now, down to Cops for the first time. There are cars side by side. I'm terrified. The Red Bulls have had a great start. Jammers is down to P6 now. I think they're trying to avoid the kick Sauber drama. And the Red Bulls are now 3 and 4, but Welshie is putting the pressure on already. Already a 3-second time penalty given out. Jordan Goat. Here comes Welshie. To the inside he goes. Can he get the job done on the braking? He can. Oh, and really rip the car into the corner as well. Welshie leads through Stowe. He takes the lead of the race from Tolby. Let's have a look at how the gaps have changed so far. Up 3 from the start is Welshie. Tolby down 1. Normbash down stays the same. Villeneuve up 1. Midnight with an amazing start is up to P6. Up from P11 to P6. I don't think Jammers has control. That is a great shout. I don't think he does. Looking very much like an AI driver right now. And that would be dangerous if it is, because every car around him will have to avoid him now and try and make their way through as Jammers continues to fall down the grid. Meanwhile, Welshie still leads. Normbash being dropped ever so slightly now. And he's under pressure from his teammate. I wonder if team orders will come into effect as there's a yellow flag. And I'm trying to figure out for who. It appears it might have been 2 terms. Echo 1 is down to P18. No, sorry, no. Back up to P18 now. Has managed to fight his way back through 2 already. Aston has spun. That would be Jordan Goat, who is already struggling as is. A very low front wing for him. So he's gone for, I think, pure cornering speed. Or sorry, pure straight line speed. As meanwhile, Jammers is now falling further down. Here comes Electric Entree around the outside. He will take P9 away from Jammers. who is just sinking like a stone, and I don't think he's in control of his car. But we'll focus back at the front now. The gaps are opening. Welshie leads at 30.4. The tyres are going to be crucial, though, because look at the top 5. There's one man who kind of stands out in that top 6, as Ghost has already boxed. Cypher is out of the race, and we have a safety car. And there has been an incident at the final corner, and I wonder if that has caused the safety car. Into the pits comes Ghost, new front wing. And this has unironically massively helped the soft runners, because now they don't have to worry about the drop-off, as Monster Jammers has retired, and that is the difficulty when it comes to this game, because it will do that sometimes when you are in control of your car, and then sometimes it just says you're not. And that's unfortunately, you can see him pulling off there to the right. That's his AI doing that. He will not be competing any further. After an amazing qualifying session, he will drop out of the race due to connection difficulties and due to F1 being not the greatest game in the world. It's an unfortunate turn of events for him. What it has done is it has handed, I believe, Angry Shadow another position, who has already had a great start. Let's have a look at the biggest losers and gainers on the start. Of course, Angry Shadow, the biggest one of the lot. The 9-place grid jump off the line. He's avoided the carnage so far. And in come a lot of the drivers. Never mind, we'll come back to that. In come, I believe, at least 3 of the soft runners. Midnight receives a 10-second for speeding into the pits. Who else is following them in? I believe that's an Aston Martin. Of Jordan Goat. Who else? Just them. So just the 4 bots, it appears. Hards to the end is an idea. It's not one I'd recommend. Medium soft at this point might actually be the better strat, or even mediums to the end. Mediums can go 20 laps around here quite comfortably, and if a couple of them are under safety car, you know, you just need to wait for a late safety car, you pit for softs and you're set to the end, you know? It's one of those strategies. So Normbash has gone for that, as has Midnight, as has Jordan. All onto the medium tyre. Tolby went hards when he boxed. Ghost went hards when he boxed. So that might be a choice. Meanwhile, what that has done is that has shuffled our grid up a little bit. Welshie will now lead us away next time around. From Villeneuve, Benzo, Machmage, and Machmage up to P4. Great job from him. Nathan in P5. Electric Entree up to P6, making up for lost time, according to the chat. Yeah, it's all about pure pace, and then really in this sort of an environment, we saw it in Tier 6. Labib had the gap. It was hard for Pat the Rock to overcome it. It took until the final 2 laps before he could even close up with a massive tyre advantage on a faster set of tyres. So it doesn't really matter. You've just got to be on the right tyre. Shadow in P8 behind Omama, who's done a great job to get his Aston Martin to P7. Boom, down to P9. Not the greatest starts from him. Great Ace P10. Echo 1, P11. Considering where his teammate is, he'll be quite disappointed that he's had that incident and has fell down. But he's done a great job recovering. That kicks Sauber up to P11 already. Nate in 12th. 2 turns, the last of the drivers to yet to pit in P13, as there has been a stoppage on track here, as a couple of cars have gone into the pits, and I believe that may be Midnight. And I'm confused as to why. We've got no confirmation from the team as to the reason for this unscheduled pit stop. But I think it's to serve a 10-second. Thank you. Thank you, chat. Appreciate it. Chat, I can always rely on you. If I can't rely on anyone else, I can rely on you. He's gone mediums. He's gone softs, by the way. The only other driver with a 10-second is Ghost, who is a little laggy. So we're going to keep our camera off of him and focus on the front of the field. Safety car has been out and leading the pack for a lap already. This is the second one. So we are expecting that around Maggots and Beckett's, maybe the end of it, we are expecting to see safety car in this lap. It shouldn't take Midnight too long to catch the field, especially on softs, and with the track being as green as it is, those softs are not going to wear as hard either. That's another key point to remember. As much as this game is a little bit wishy-washy, there is always the effect of a drying track, or a track that has not had that rubber in qualifying. There is a difference to the grip levels, and even the weather can have an effect on it. So right now, the track isn't going to be as good for grip as it has been. It's not going to be as abrasive to the softs. The softs are going to be even better in the long distance. So there is a good chance that we see that come into play. Here are the tyres once again, just so you're aware. We've had 4 boxes so far. Midnight, Tolby, Norbash and Jordan. Technically Ghost boxed as well, but not under safety car. And we have not received the warning. There it is this time. Safety car in this lap. And it will be Welshie who will become the honorary safety car as the pack now tries to bunch back up. A couple of the cars there are not necessarily doing a great job of that. There are massive gaps in the midfield here. And it might be worth looking at because this is an absolute congested mess. But we will go back to the front. And it will be a McLaren to lead us away from a Red Bull. Have you seen this story before, ladies and gentlemen? Because this feels like an actual F1 race. Through goes Welshie. He's gone at the beginning of the chicane. A smart place to go because what it's done is it's stretched the field already. And that is an amazing restart from him. 7/10 the gap as he leads us onto lap number 6. The race has begun again. And Villeneuve has been left lacking a little bit here. Benzo's fallen even further back. Mockmage putting him under pressure. A couple of moves back here. Angry Shadow all over the back of Amamo, trying to get the job done. He wants to get up the field as fast as possible, but he's going for the softs to the end, which is the strategy we saw Jatton do in the race in Tier 6, and it worked wonders for him. As now we see down the hangers, or down... What straight is that? I don't even remember. I think it's the Wellington. It's the Wellington. God. I hate straights, man. Honestly. Now down towards... This is the Wellington. Right now, though, through the fire, through cops, goes Welshie. He still leads. 3/10 now, though. Villeneuve is closing. No DRS this lap, but it will be enabled next one. And Villeneuve looks like he's got the pace to be at the front here. Higher front wing means less straight line speed, but means more cornering grip. Key to note in the battles going on. He will be more of a sitting duck. Meanwhile, behind them, here comes Amamo. Up the inside of Electric Entree. Can't get the job done. Angry Shadow will look to try and sneak around the outside. We'll go on board with him, but he can't seem to find a way through. And this is the problem with Silverstone. It's so easy to overtake. It's so good at defensive driving. All you need to do is go for a move and you're basically blocking the guy behind. It is a ridiculous track for that exact reason. Angry Shadow is all over the back of Amamo now though. Tries to look to the inside here. Amamo goes slightly defensive, pulls back to the racing line. Meanwhile at the front the gaps are quite small, but they're not small enough for a move to be had just yet. Mockmage putting Benzo for a little bit of pressure, but has lost it all on the run down to Luffields as we've had a car off. And that will be Ghost in the wall at turn 1. And that is a safety car. And that is a very odd place for a car to go off of their own accord. Yeah, that might be worth looking at, stewards. But we'll see what they come to in the verdict. What it is led to is it has led to another safety car condition. And who that has benefited is our soft runners at the front again. Welshie, Villeneuve, Mockmage, Electric Entree and Amamo. They now have the choice to box to mediums to the end. And they will be fine. They have that option. The medium runners do not have that right. They do not have the ability to go softs 19. They don't go more than 12. They technically go 15. It does also help his teammate. It does. Nate OG, who also hasn't boxed, and 2 terms. But the soft runners are going to take that bet. And Mockmage is coming in as well. And he's going to have to manage himself on the way into the pits because there is a possibility for a double stack here from McLaren. How big is that gap going to be? In comes Villeneuve, in comes Mach-Mage. Benzo will remain out on track. He will lead the Grand Prix. There are a lot of cars in. Have McLaren timed this? They've not timed it perfectly. It's a little bit of time loss, but it's not as bad as it could have been. But he does have to wait for the traffic. And now the Merc. Is he going to come out ahead of the Merc? He has done. He's just got out ahead of Entree. And he's not really lost a position there. If anyone's lost a position, it'd be a Marmo. And the soft runners, you can see them all there at the back, have all boxed. Every single one of them. Nate goes for the hards. Everyone goes for mediums. Ah, Ghost has had a disconnection. That's fair enough. I've had a situation like that in the game. That's absolutely fine. There won't be an issue with that. But what I can say is that if you were to tell me that after 3 laps, Benzo, Slice and Nathan would be our leading pair, I would have called you crazy. This is where they started, for reference, P10 and P8. With only 3 retirements, one of them being P2, you wouldn't have expected them to be right at the front, but the other driver is the guy that started last. And let's not take anything away from the other drivers. Bum has run a great recovery drive up to P4, and Great Ace has done just as good a drive, up to P5 from P17. An amazing drive from someone who we're not expecting to be on the pace of the front runners. He himself would be shocked if he got a podium. He said so himself. Tolby, our pole sitter, is now P7, and that is with a pit stop. So everyone from 7th down has pit, though some have got better tyres and better strategy than others. Normbash may be honestly the biggest winner of the lot. On those medium tyres, they're going to be better than the Williams in front of Tolby. On top of that, they might now be able to go to the end because of the safety car, because he gets to rest them for 2 laps. Worth thinking about. In other news, no rain in the race. I'm disappointed. Chap, give me your opinions. Do you think a wet race is more enjoyable than a dry race, or other way around? I want to see opinions whilst we just wait for the safety car to find their way in. There is rain. Where? Towards the end. Thank you, Mark. Right, that just makes this even more chaotic now. Okay. I wonder how much rain that'll be and if it will actually impact the race. Rain does make it spicy. It does. Of course it does. Last 2 boxes were light rain. Ooh, that's that might be Inter's weather. We'll see who gets on the soft towards the end, because that might be the call in that situation. It's very 50-50 whether Inters are worth it, because they burn up so quick and you lose more time on a drying track or on a drier track with Inters than you do on a wet track with dries, oddly enough, because you either lose temp in your tyres, which allows you to just, you know, you're able to basically weave and burn those tyres back up to temp. You can never get rid of temp once you've got it on a dry track. It's full wet weather right now. Where? Not out my window it isn't. There are blue skies out there, mate. It was a shaft of daylight that hit me just right. So, Ghost is gone. That's fine. Safety car in this lap. That's expected. It will be Benzo who will lead us away for the second time. Soft runners, yes. Soft runners definitely got bailed by a second safety car. I think that stint actually worked better. We're looking for the drivers from P11 through to 17. They're all the soft drivers right now that have got that pit stop under the safety car. Everyone else stayed out. The medium runners off the start have all stayed out. Benzo through to Echo. That top 6, they're going to be the ones to watch off this restart. From kick to kick. who will find the performance. Benzo will lead us away. He will take his time and will go at the second to last corner this time. And that has kind of bunched the field up more because the gaps have opened and it is an immediate lead for Benzo. And Angry Shadow is not wasting any time up the inside of Nathan. But Nathan will not give it up. Nathan wheel to wheel with the former championship leader, the race winner in Angry Shadow. And he cannot keep with him at the final of turn 3. And that will be a lead for the Ferrari coming soon, you would have to assume, as he gains and gains already on Benzo, chasing him down. P1 to P... Angry to P1 in 12 laps. You can't say it wasn't without safety cars, however. Jordan Go, however, big spin for him. He's out. He's down in last place now. It looks like potential front wing damage. No. Just looks like he's clipped a bit of dirt and has gone off the track. Meanwhile, back at the front, it is all pressure for Benzo Slice. The same lap tyre age, the same tyre wear, you would assume, but it's still an absolutely deadly risk as there is a battle wheel to wheel right now between 3 cars. Through goes Electric Entree in front of Mark Mage. A gorgeous move into Maggots and Beckett. And I think that's because Mark Mage went for the move on Normbash and got held up. Meanwhile, the lead is about to change hands. No, defended like a lion from Benzo Slice. And what that's done is that's given Nathan a bit of a closer look at that Ferrari rear wing. Now on to lap 11. Benzo will officially have led 1 lap of the British Grand Prix, but I wonder how much more he will lead. DRS has been enabled. Here comes the Ferrari. Looking for a move potentially into 3. It's been his favourite hunting zone so far, but no way through just yet. We'll probably wait for the first straight. Goes for the cutback. Has already got the launch. Is straight through. The grip is unbelievable. The DRS opens. Benzo cannot fight his way back through. And Angry Shadow will take the lead of the British Grand Prix with 1 pit stop still to serve. Meanwhile, Welshie is up to P8. He's worked his way past Normbash, who is starting to sink on those older medium tyres. Tolby also down at the back. Old Hards all the way at the back of the field now, as here comes Mark Mage again on Normbash. It is getting darker. Mark Mage this time gets the move done at Cops. No hesitation as he is through. Meanwhile, at the front of the field, the gaps a little bit awkward right now for Benzo because he's just about in the DRS of the Ferrari in front. But that is the only reason that Nathan has not found a way through, you have to argue. Meanwhile, behind them, Bum doing a great job keeping himself steady. Great Ace under pressure from Echo 1, who's trying to recover from that bad race. Oh, there's been a mistake. Benzo's gone deep into the first part of that 3 final corners, and through goes Nathan into P2. And here looks Bum now, trying to find the move. Behind them, Midnight defending. The last remaining 7-lap-old tyre runner is battling for his life right now as Welshie is all over his gearbox. A lock up on the front right. He runs wide. Now, will that set up for the move here for Welshie? He tries to get the better exit. Has done. Now, throttle down to the final place. He did start last place, yes, and he's 2.2 seconds clear at the front. Here's the battle now into the braking point. Oh, has he got the move done? He has done. A lock up again from Midnight. It's gone deep. Now through Luffield. Shadow just has to pull away. He has one job and he's doing it to perfection. The cars behind him are battling like crazy though. This is Benzo battling Nathan for P2. If they work together, they might catch him. But right now, they are not. Meanwhile, Welshie now, 1 move done, looking for another. Now on the back of Great Ace, who's pressuring Bum all the way through. That's a mistake from Midnight in the background. Here comes Villeneuve. To the inside, squeezed almost onto the grass, given no room at all the way down the straight. But later brakes will sail him through. Tries to go for the cutback, does Midnight, can't find it. Welshie past Great Ace now, up the inside, double move, contact with Bum, potential broken front wing, around goes Midnight, and I'm not sure why, but somehow, Welshie's up to P4, around the outside goes Villeneuve up to P5, and these are the guys that Angry Shadow is looking to beat as a battle now behind. Great Ace and Bum battling wheel to wheel. through turn 1. Ace has just about hung on ahead of Bum. But there are more fast cars approaching. Mark Mage on Trey. Both on fresher medium tyres that should go to the end of the race. Meanwhile, Welshie now chasing after the leading pair of Nathan and Benzo. 3.5 seconds the gap between them and Angry Shadow as it stands currently. As there's been another incident potentially. Let's go through the field. Midnight battling wheel to wheel with Tolby, with Amamo. And after his spin at the final corners, you have to assume he's looking to try and regain time. He has one more stop to make. He can go on to softs to the end. Looks for the move into Cops. Can't find it. But this time, oh, it's a Maggots and Beckett. He gets the job done. Great job from him. Benzo back up to P2. Round the outside into the Stowe corner. As meanwhile, Villeneuve is now chasing after Welshie. And this is the battle for what could be P1. Every car in front of them does still need to pit, and they are not that far off the front pack. Meanwhile, Great Ace boxes. He was needing to box. He'll go to softs to the end, you would assume now. 12 laps to go. As meanwhile, yellow flags are out. And we're not sure for who. There's been a crash at the final corner, and it's Toby who's gone round. As meanwhile, Bum has also had a moment here. And he's been overtaken by 3 cars. Normbash, one of them. Yeah, it's about a 30-second stop. What I was told ahead of time by Monster Jammers. Right now, Angry does not have 23 seconds. This is the gap to the leader. Just to show you where he'll come out, he will be around, as it stands, Echo 1. He will have to make all of that ground back up on pure pace. And he has to box soon, you would have to think, to avoid losing any more time. Unless a safety car comes. At this point, he might be hoping for one. Meanwhile, here's the battle for P2. Once again, Nathan, this time up the inside. Gets it done clean as a whistle. Benzo not able to fight it. As Welshie and Villeneuve are now on the back of this train. This is the POV from Villeneuve. 4 seconds between him and Mark Mage. We are watching the leader timing because it is oh so crucial. For the sake of Angry Shadow's race, as Normbash has now gone up to P8. Oh, there's been a moment! Electric Entree has lost it completely. He has to spin around. Upside down. Wrong way round. Almost causing contact with Nate. Well, that wouldn't have been Nate. That would have been... Would that have been Nate? It would have been Nate. Oh, gee. Oh, almost terrifying. The situation. The leader, 5 seconds clear. Jordan with another penalty to his name now. I think that brings him up to 9. Plus any pit lane speeding ones. It's not been a great start to his first race of the season. It is absolutely not helping. But Nathan seems to have it under control. He's just losing time. Echo 1 receives a penalty. He still needs to box as well. He was one of that leading quartet that hadn't boxed yet. And whilst Bum has now and Ace has, he still hasn't. Meanwhile, this pack of 4, 2 of them need to box, 2 of them do not. And it is the 2 at the back who will want to get the move done. But Villeneuve here has had a great run out of Maggots and Beckett. He's already on the inside of Welshie. This is for a net P1 when everyone boxes. And Villeneuve's taking it here. He's up into what will be net P1, but they are still side by side. Now all the way through. This battle cannot continue if they want to fight for the win. Oh, Villeneuve has to back out. Great defending from Welshie to keep the position. Tremendous defending. Meanwhile, Nathan and Benzo are fighting their own little race and Welshie's now on the attack. From defending at one end of the lap to starting an attack on the next. He's already passed one. Great move from Welshie. Great recovery drivers. Oh, Villeneuve all out of sorts. Almost, I think, hit the back end of Benzo there. Has to recover now. As meanwhile in the distance, Angry Shadow, 7 seconds clear. The pressure now on Nathan as Welshie tries to speed it around the outside. Will turn to the inside of Luffield. forces Nathan wide. Nathan goes for the cutback but can't find it because he's got a car on his inside. And through goes Welshie into what is technically speaking going to be the lead of the race, as there's a car off in the background. That would be Jordan Goat. He's gone off at turn 3. As now Nathan will once again, I think, not conserve and go for the attack here. We know Welshie is faster. We know Welshie is going to the end. But what will the Haas do? The Haas will look to the inside, the Haas will pull alongside, and the Haas will take the position. Oh, and Welshie wants to turn in, but he can't, because there's a car on his inside again. Now looking for the move, up the inside into the final corners. Gets it done, but can't keep it there because Nathan blocks it on the apex. And these four are checking each other up so much that it's giving the leader a chance. Angry Shadow now has a 23-second gap to P11, P10 now. All battles here in this front four. Up the inside go Welshie and Villeneuve. Synchronized sends from both of them. And they both get the job done. Well, Villeneuve has at least. Welshie now under pressure. But will have the DRS. Should be able to stay ahead of Nathan. And Nathan now under pressure from Villeneuve, who goes up the inside. And that might have just about secured a little bit of stability for this group. Villeneuve hanging on in there in P3 now. And that might be crucial because at this point the mediums are going off. Even if you've been on them under 2 safety cars, they cannot have the same grip. Nathan and Benzo should be looking to box this lap. They've got a good gap to the cars behind. They will need to make the most of it. But I don't think it really matters too much because onto the back straight we come, and it's been a bad launch there from Welshie. Through goes Villeneuve, and now he has to tuck in to avoid a potential attack from the Haas, who is under pressure himself from Benzo. Benzo round the outside. This has been an amazing battle at the front of the field. Benzo gets the job done, and Nathan goes from P2 at the start of the lap to P5 by the end of it. The gap to the leader, 10.8 seconds, now up to 11 seconds temporarily as the timing board lags a little bit. Angry Shadow right now would come out P8 as it stands. As well, she goes to the inside, can't find the move. He's actually under pressure now from Benzo, who's had a great run onto the back straight. Welshie looks to send it around the outside. Oh, what a move from Welshie from so far back. Has done that so superbly. Villeneuve now under pressure from the kick Sauber. And he's not lost a single penny of time doing that, has Welshie. Villeneuve under pressure from Benzo now. Can he hang on to the position? Yes, he can. Welshie has done an amazing job to get back up to P2. But here we go again. Down the hanger straight, through Maggots and Beckett's first. And Villeneuve, look how much quicker he is through Maggots and Beckett's. That's that extra downforce we were talking about, the higher front wing that he has on that car. It enables him to take that corners faster. Here comes Benzo, round the outside, they almost go 3 wide. There could have been contact there, but there wasn't. Amazing driving from all 3 of them. Welshie, Villeneuve, oh, there is contact this time. And Villeneuve will be forced to cede the position as he loses the back end. And through goes Benzo. And here comes Nathan as well. Nathan backs out. Doesn't want to risk it into turn 1. A flat corner at the best of times. But those tyres must be going off now. Angry Shadow, meanwhile, is coasting. If you're wondering. He's just straight up coasting. But he's still lapping comfortably faster than everyone else. As it stands still, he will be out P8, but as it could stand in a moment or two, he will be out in P7 with 7 laps to go in this race. Waiting for the safety car he is. He doesn't need to push. He's not going to get enough of a gap, I think, at this point to get the job done before the pit stop. He'll have to do it on the softs. He will have to do it via pure pace and overtaking ability. But when he does box, it will be crucial. As there's a yellow flag in Sector 1. That's for Jordan Goat. Just lost it through 3 again. Meanwhile, down the field, just as a look, Jordan Goat retires on track. That will be looked at by the stewards. As meanwhile, here comes Benzo Slice. Can't do the job around the outside of Welshie. Not on 18 lap old mediums, you can't. As now, Nathan, look to the pits, can't do it. Mark Mage has somehow wound his way into this pack. Now, Mark Mage is on the same strat as Welshie and Villeneuve. Normbash is a little ways behind. He technically is, but he's on 4 lap older tyres, and he's only 2.3 off the back of them. Just to show you the gaps. 2 Terms is now out of the pit stop window to Angry Shadow. The Welshie train, it really is. But Benzo now under pressure. Here comes Villeneuve. Looking to make amends potentially for the mistake he made. Looks to the inside, can't find it. As Mark Mage receives a 3-second, I think he went too tight in the corner, has gone over the curb and has gotten himself a 3-second time penalty. And that will ruin his chances of fighting for the win here today. But now he is all about supporting his teammate, who is also battling for the win. The man at the front of the train. Like Jarno Trulli, except quicker. Much quicker. It's Welshie. Under pressure from Benzo, who's had a great run out of Maggots and Beckett. Welshie goes defensive. Benzo holds behind. Doesn't want to go for the move. Welshie gets the car turned in. Villeneuve all over the back of him. Benzo's actually had a really good run out of Stowe. But in comes Nathan. Oh, and Villeneuve. Big moment from Villeneuve. Locks up heavily. Bummer's all over. Bummer's got a 3-second time penalty. But that is an amazing chance on Mark Mage. He just couldn't take advantage of it. In comes one of those medium runners. This is the key one, though. The gap, 14.8. Where does he come out now? He comes out behind 2 Terms, behind Normbash. So we will have at least 4 cars to overtake to win the race, as it stands. Meanwhile, Welshie still leads the train. It's a 4-car train now, soon to be 3 when Benzo boxes. Out comes Nathan. If you're wondering where he's come out behind Chosen Tolby on track, but he's on fast soft. Angry should pit now. Absolutely. 6 to go, 5 to go even. This is the lap, I think, that we see both Angry and Benzo go. Nathan has seen. Angry has seen that Nathan has gone. He has seen that one of the cars he is racing against has boxed. One of the ones on the same strategy. Where does he go? Does he go in? He does. Angry Shadow boxes from the lead. If he speeds in, it's terrifying. But he gets the car stopped comfortably in front of the line. Welshie under pressure. Villeneuve's got the run on the outside of contact. And for the second time today at Stowe, a McLaren goes off. Contact on the outside. Meanwhile, Benzo stays out. And that is horrible for the McLaren team. As now, through goes Villeneuve. Villeneuve will lead, but he will receive a penalty for that contact, I can assure you. As in comes the other kick Sauber of Echo 1. We're expecting Angry Shadow out now. But 2 Terms has got ahead of him, and Amamo is wheel to wheel with him. Amamo's got ahead. Can he defend? Slowing up the fast, rough Ferrari. There's a Red Bull off. That's Normbash. One of the cars that would have been blocking the progress of the Ferrari. Norm stays to the inside, tries to keep out of the way. NATO G just about avoids him. But Angry Shadow now. Oh, there's a crash in front of Angry! And 2 Terms has taken part of the front wing off Angry Shadow. Well, she's got damage. Angry Shadow's got damage. 12.7 the gap between him and a race win. He'll have to do it with half a front wing. I can't say those exact words, Captain, but I'm thinking them. Absolute chaos here at Silverstone. Benzo, the only driver yet to box, this time stays out again. Yellow flag, sector 2. That's for a McLaren. And well, she's off. And it's going to be a safety car. Potentially. He's been collided with. There's no safety car deployed. Not even a VSC. What on earth is going on? As it stands currently, Villeneuve will lead. Probably receive a penalty. Mark Major's P2 will receive a penalty. And Amamo is defending for his life because this is for position and legitimately could be for the race win if he's got the pace. Can he defend like a lion against a fast flowing? The rain's coming down. It's raining. The rain has arrived at Silverstone with 4 to go. As if we needed more drama. The gap between the leading pack. 10 seconds. There it is. Proof if you needed it of the weather. And in about 3 laps time, it's going to be Inter's weather. So now it's about who can survive, let alone who can drive. Amamo's actually within DRS still, I want to point out. Or was within DRS of Angry Shadow. He's done a great job of sticking with him. This is amazing. Well, she's gone. I cannot feel more upset for a man. As there's a yellow flag for Midnight facing the wrong way. The corner is that way, mate. He's got there eventually. Good job. Has found his way around turn 3. Is in to the pits comes Benzo, but Benzo's gone off. Benzo spun it. Another car gone. He'll box, and I wonder if he'll box for Inters. Hail Mary. It's not Inter's weather at all, but it's getting close. Nathan trying to recover what he can here. On those soft tyres. Muckmage is legit in with a chance of a win here. He just needs to remain within 5 seconds of Villeneuve and 3 seconds ahead of Angry. But it is treacherous out there right now. Benzo's actually committed to the intermediates. that might be the play of the century. We'll see. Amamo's gone round. Oh, there's been a big crash. I'm not sure who else has gone. Tolby is all over the road. Villeneuve has murdered a man. He's murdered Welshie, to put it politely. Welshie is dead, and it is by his hand. At Stowe, on the inside, as expected. It's the same way Pat lost his race win. Midnight receives a 10-second. He wants intermediates. I wonder how many others go in. Because look at this track. It's Inter's weather. This might be the box time. Does Villeneuve box for Inters here? He doesn't. Muckmage stays out. Angry Shadow, who is gaining. Does he have the will to go to Inters? He does not. Electric Entree, who by the way is comfortably sat in P4. DRS has been disabled. It is now Inter's weather. Yellow flag, sector 2. That's for, I believe, a Marmo, who's round, and there's a drifting Williams and a drifting. Look at them kid. Oh no, I don't think they will at this point. I think it's actually come back around. Meanwhile, the gap between the leader and P3, the man we are looking to see win the race with half a front wing, as there's another yellow flag. This time I think it's for Bum. Maybe Great Ace. Oh, it definitely is Great Ace. He was in the gravel. There goes Bum. Bum's now in the points. If you're trying to keep track of this, good luck. This is not fun. There are cars everywhere. There is a battle for P5 right now. There's a battle for the race win right now. As meanwhile, I believe that is the Mercedes of Midnight. Oh, Midnight's lost it! How has he not collected someone? Midnight gets out of the way of the Ferrari. The gap between Angry Shadow. Oh, and Villeneuve's gone off! Villeneuve's gone off! And Maggots and Beckett! The gap now is the 3-second gap that we're looking at. Villeneuve is the only driver currently stopping Angry Shadow from winning this race. Oh, look at this grip. Look at the grip of Midnight. Midnight round the outside. In comes Villeneuve. Villeneuve boxes. Midnight's battling with Angry Shadow. Midnight's taken the... He's trying to unlap himself, God bless. This is scripted. This is ridiculous. 5.2, 6.1 the gap. It is a 3 second or nothing for Angry Shadow. Can he do it? Mockmage needs to drive like his life depends on it. There's a yellow flag. I think that's for a Marmo. Down at Cops. There's another one at Buckets at Beckett's. That'll be Echo 1. Oh my god. This is amazing. Meanwhile, Villeneuve drops down to P4. Electric Entre has actually just taken P3. He's on for the podium as Electric Entre as it stands. But here comes the intermediate tyres of Villeneuve. Oh, they go wide. Oh, Entre try not to lose it. He's doing a great job. Meanwhile, at the front, Midnight's got through on Mockmage. That's for position or to unlap himself, so he will finish on the lead lap. Angry Shadow is all over the road right now. He's not gaining. He's not gaining at all. The gap is 6.5. I say that, he's getting all the way down the straight, but that's besides the point. Into Cops they go. He runs wide. Has to get off the throttle. Gets on it well. Mockmage has about 10 corners to go. This is like Hamilton in 2020. This is ridiculous. Oh, he's all over the road. Can he hang on? He has. Down the hanger straight. 4 corners to go for a famous McLaren win. Mockmage now around Stowe. He's tentative on the throttle, he is. Look how wet the track is. Lando Norris once famously bottled a win from this very position with an angry charging driver behind him. But this time, there will be no McLaren bottle job. Mockmage wins the British Grand Prix. He takes P1 away from Angry Shadow, who should have won it, but front wing damage costs him in the end. Villeneuve in P3, after a murder was committed, will secure it just about ahead of Benzo Slice, who is still coming around the corners. If you're wondering where the grid is, it is still a mess. We've got a load to still go. Benzo gets P4. 2 turns is next. On the medium tyre, he has Nato G chasing him down. Electric Entre, who's had a moment, has fell out of the podium. And it will be 2 turns in P5. Nate will, with his penalties, fall behind Entre and Tolby, who gets a P7. Nathan crosses the line. P9 for him. Normbash, who at one point I think was looking to try and win the race, will secure the final points position in P10. Bum in P11. Great Ace power sliding round the final corner. We've got a couple to go. 3 to go specifically. And the most entertaining one would probably be Amabo, because Amabo is still on the dry tyres. Echo 1 will cross the line in P13, just about, as he gets through this race. Amamo is all over the road. Here comes Midnight. This is for position. And he's got the move done, does Midnight, around the outside of Stowe. He's got the job done on the final lap. Will he gain the gap, though? How many penalties does he have? Wait a minute. He's got 10 seconds. Can he gain 10 seconds in 2 corners? He gets... That's added on. Has he got enough time on Amamo? No, he doesn't. Amamo keeps P14. And that is the most chaotic British Grand Prix you've ever seen. Holy hell. How has he done that? How has Mockmage won? I'm going to let the podium play out if it comes on, because I think it's worth watching. What a Grand Prix! If you're just tuning in or are a little bit bored and you want to go and watch the next race, it starts in 5 minutes' time. Tier 4 will begin in 5 minutes' time. The qualifying will start then. But until then, we will celebrate a McLaren win. We will celebrate a Mockmage win. And somehow, 2 races in a row, Angry Shadow has not come through with a win. There are your final classifications. Fastest lap will go to Angry Shadow. And we will have to have maybe one of the greatest interview booths of my life. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Let's bring it over here. Let's get the F1 game absolutely out of here. What an amazing race that has been. I don't even know where to begin. I really don't. I cannot even fathom what we have just witnessed. But what I can say is potentially we do have maybe one of the most creative race wins of all time. And it's come out of nowhere. We're going to get him in the booth, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to speak to your race winner for the British Grand Prix. He somehow comes away with it once again. How on earth have you done this? Mark Mage, congratulations.
I need like a good like hour break after this one. I did not expect to win in the slightest.
I don't think anyone did, to be fair. Talk us through those final few laps. It's raining, you get the job done into the lead, and you've got 6 seconds to the car behind with midnight somehow in between you. What is going through your head with that 3-second time penalty when you start that final lap?
I'm going to be honest. With that final lap, my mind just entirely blanked out. I was just no thoughts, head empty at that point. But it was around the final. It was around the final like 2 corners that I realized, oh my god, I did it, and that's when I started actually freaking out across the line. But that final lap was very intense, rain coming down, and I'm just thinking, well, funnily enough, I was actually one more warning away from another time penalty.
Oh my god!
So,
you still won.
Yeah, but I was pushing it, and I'm just thinking, well, I'm surprisingly strong in the wet, if I do say so myself, having done no practice in the wet ever this far on this game, and I'm like, maybe I could hold on and somehow get a win out of this, which I mean. After some unfortunate luck for myself and McLaren as a whole, we needed this so badly, so I'm very happy about it. I hope this is going to be the start of a turnaround for us, and we can push up a little bit further, but I'm so happy with that.
Yeah, the unfortunate events, even in this tier, to Welshie as well, had that incident at Stowe. It was 2 races in a row now we've seen that. Pat the Rock first, then Welshie, but you come through, the third man of the McLaren team in that sense, to take the win. And I believe the lead in the championship, if my math is correct, you've taken the lead, which... What are your thoughts on that? Leading the championship for the first time?
How?
I don't know either.
I shouldn't. I really shouldn't. Like, there are like at least 3, maybe 4 guys in this tier faster than I am, and so I don't know. I genuinely don't know how I'm here. I don't know how long I will be here, but I'm gonna try and hold on to it as long as I can.
Well, I'm hoping you do too, because it's so fun to interview you, and it's an absolute pleasure to get to sit and watch you race around, especially if it's dries in wet conditions, because that was an amazing show of control and skill to take home the win. Thank you once again. Do we have a race next week?
We do. So. It's going to be at Qatar. Yeah. I will not. Yeah.
You know,
I will be present for Belgium next week. Gotcha. I will be present for Qatar, but I will not be present for Belgium. I'm going on vacation. Well, I might see if I can bring my stuff with me.
I think you might. I'm gonna try it. Maybe worth it.
I'm gonna try. I don't know how good the internet will be because I'm gonna be like out of the country in the Caribbean. So yeah. I'll have to see how strong the internet is. I hope it is, because then I can race. But if the internet is severe, I don't want to be a danger to everybody on the track. So
yeah, that's
I'll have to see.
Well, for Qatar next weekend, hopefully I'll get a chance to interview you again, but if I don't, it has been a pleasure to see you on the podium this season, and I look forward to seeing you race next week. Have a good one, mate.
Yeah, thank you. You too.
What a performance. What a drive from a beautiful beautiful man. But we do have another amazing driver coming into the booth now. He comes home in P2 in the end. A slightly disappointing result considering the start of the race and where you were. But Angry Shadow, welcome to the booth. I'll get your face up so we have that on camera. A performance to remember, but maybe not fully enjoy. A P2 from P20, but it could have been a win.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm very happy with the result. I mean, I could have win. I could have get the victory, but when I paid for soft, I knew it was the last lap I could have been on the mediums, the lap 21. Not because of the tire, it was because of the time. If there was no rain, if I paid after 21, I don't know if I was getting a better result. So it was the deadline to pit. I went into soft, and I got into the pits in the exit in turn 5. 2 turns just spun the car, gave me front wing damage, and I had to do the rain and those 3-4 laps in with no wing basically.
Yeah. And how was
So
that driving without? Because we saw it on stream, we saw the incident. You lost your front right end plate, and I can imagine that was affecting your downforce. How was that actually driving the car in those sorts of conditions? Was it as treacherous as it looked?
yeah, yeah. The first 2 laps with the damage it was okay, but then when the rain started to hit heavy, it was awful. Like I had to turn super early, had to brake a lot more, and that was not funny to do. And I was still getting the pack in front just because of tire advantage, but at the end it was not enough because it was too difficult to drive like that.
What I will say though is outside of that final 4 lap period with the no front wing and being on tries in a wet track, you did an amazing job. There's no one that can deny your ability in Tier 5. You were completely head and shoulders clear of the field until that final stint. So now the question remains, what does that mean for Qatar this week, next week? You've got, I think, another quali ban for that race. Are we
Yeah.
going to see the miracle this time? Because there's a very, very small chance of rain at Qatar. It's going to be pure pace. Do you think you have it in you?
Yeah, yeah, I absolutely have the pace for it, but it all will remain in if I have luck with for example, the crashes or people spamming and that stuff, because even if I have more pace, sometimes to do an overtake takes you time because of ERS, the other people using battery, or simply in the corners you don't have space. So I'm not risking another being in the back again just for doing overtake. I just take it with patience and wait for the moment I can do the overtake safely.
There was a lot of support for you in the chat, and I think there will be a lot of support for you for the rest of the season. A phenomenal job from you today. P20 to P2, showing your skill, showing your pace, even in the wet, faster than most on those soft tyres. Thank you for coming in. Hopefully, we'll see you in the booth again next weekend in Qatar, because it promises to be just as chaotic as Silverstone, knowing this tier. Have a great rest of your weekend, mate.
Thank you, man. You too.
Right. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. That is the weekend for Tier 5. That is it sorted. That is it done. For now. We do have more coming your way later today. Currently live right now, we've got TTRE Dreams and, of course, our legend, Skill Issue, over in the booth for tier number 4. They've got a whole host of drivers looking to queue up and take a race win around around the home of Formula 1 in this tier. But from me here in tier 5 and from tier 5 as a whole, it has been a pleasure, and we wish you all the best of nights.